Introduce themselves then.
Yeah.
So we just say your name and when you were born.
Well,
And,
Roy Elliott, 1928, and nearly everybody in the village went to Stainsby School, went to Mill, unbeknown to me. I knew he'd been like me here. I knew he'd been to Mill and done the same job as me, like. And what they wanted, we never seen a lot of Jack here upstairs. As long as we took these bags away and put them in them old horse stables and swept up a bit, but the main job, as he liked you to do, if it was our habit like this, was go and fetch, pinch water from Hardwick Pond, the first pond. And he's done the same job. And we never see Jack a deal. He got another fellow with him sometime. And you could go any time you wanted. You could go away any time. You didn't know you were there sometimes. You never got paid for it or nothing like that. You weren't expecting it. You were quite happy to be able to go in mill. For things as I was interested in, you see. It was the smell of the mill when you went in, you know. And the atmosphere in it was something that attracted you. Well, I'm about 12 when I went in, started going in with Ivor Turner, of which I don't know where he lives, and I don't know whether he's capable of talking or not, or whether I don't know whether he died or not. I don't know. But he worked in the farm, did Ivor, and he got kicked with a horse. You know, he went up back of it instead of walking and letting him know he was there. I haven't walked up back, which he wasn't used to doing that, but he did. And it kicked him and made did some damage. So I used to go with Ivan very often. But I went on my own when he weren't available. I used to just walk in and start work, you know. And just happened to shout to Jack, I'm a year than us. And he didn't bother, you know, he didn't bother. Because you know there was nothing nobody wanted anyway. And I should like that big thing we used to take. It would be about 4.5 feet, I should say. And it was 2 bars.
That's right.
About as thick as that.
Square, well, slightly shaped, because we used to take it upfield and...
Yes, the spanner were in the middle.
Yep.
So you could go up there. We'd been out in weather like it wanted some... So that's the reason it was so long. You just put it on your shoulder like that, go and turn, lift it up about 5 inches. So there was enough water to go down, because the equipment weren't like it is today, been done up.
Oh no.
It was getting on in life, so it wanted something
to pieces when
to start it. Once it was started, it got enough water to do the job. But other than that, like, he'd got to have some pressure to start the wheel, so he could do his job. And we used to stack his bags up in that place, and then we'd go and look about cutting a bit of grass at back or something like that, you know, with a scythe, which I could never master. If I went scything, I always got point in field. I was digging up. It's like digging holes. Ivor could handle it a bit. But same as I say, I've not seen Ivor and either as Mick for many years. So I couldn't tell you whether he's alive or dead. Well, that's all I can tell you about the mill, you know.
When you say you went up to the pond,
it was just handy.
When you went up to the pond, it was definitely the big ponds in the Hardwick Park, or was it
No,
staying?
it was just a river that came down from the Hardwick Pond. From the first Hardwick Pond, it was a river that came down.
Yeah.
We used to walk up that.
It just used to trickle through. It was shutted off.
Yeah.
And it just used to trickle through. And then whenever they wanted mill running, we used to have to go up, turn it, and let it run for so long.
Yeah.
Come back down, and Jack would say, "Right, can you go and shut it now?" He says, "We've done what we've got to do." And I used to be one that used to take flour. When there any flour done, I used to take it up to Myrtle, which were Mrs. Hitch. I mean, because I can remember from being 9-year-old, I used to take papers across Stainsby. And they were all this a cup of tea. I was only one that were allowed to go in school at 9:30, because I took papers all round farms in Stainsby. And I started with Saunders. He used to play organ up at thing. Then what's name that had the children wouldn't have staff, Marsh Simpson. He got his business there, and quite a few lads from that went to Stainsby School started work for him, like, and every morning when I took papers, every morning when Jack went back in for his breakfast, they were all shook for tea before I set off delivering to Preston, because there were 2 cottages where your mill is.
Right.
That used to be 2 cottages there.
At the side?
At the side, yeah, there were 2. I think it's been made into 1 now, hasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. But there were 2.
Did the Saunders live there?
Saunders used to live in, no, Saunders, one at Saunders that played the organ used to live, as you came across the field where you go from Hitch's farm, there was benches and 2 cottages at the end. Well, I used to come across the field from Dole to deliver papers, and I started delivering papers at 9-year-old, which you were allowed after 8-year-old in them days,
Okay.
to be able to deliver papers. And nobody else wanted to do it, so I took evening papers for Isons, and I said, yeah, I'll take it on. And I used to love it because I used to finish up with eggs
I bet.
from farms, and turkey at Christmas from Mrs H, from my mother. You know, yeah. And then I started going across evenings, helping Jack with milking and lot. And that, and as I say, I think they're only about me and you that could talk to Geoffrey, weren't they? Because Geoffrey took to me.
I could talk to Geoffrey,
But, you know...
He had a special swimming place down on the brook as come through the mill. Of course, there's an old saying, you can never mill with the same water twice.
No.
And he used to be down there, and he got a special place, and he used to go and bath down there. No matter what the weather was, Jeff used to be down there. And then he'd come up back at house, me and Ivor would be working around back at house, up Jack's light, and they'd say you shouldn't be round here till there's a fire, and then you come with a bucket of water.
This is William Jeffrey, isn't it?
William Jeffrey, yeah. Well, we always just knew him as Jeff. Same as you said to you.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack's name was John, but I think we all knew him as Jack, because I can remember him, as I said to you, I can remember when I used to go to the farm, Anne were only a young teenager then they were Bunty, and then they had young John when I was going to the farm. I mean, John runs the farm now, like, but, and old lady was living when I used to go to the farm, like Jack's mother.
What about Judith, Anne's sister? Was Judith there?
Well, that was one that we called Bunty.
Ah, right, yes.
Because there were only 3 children,
Yeah,
2 girls and a boy,
yeah,
but we always used to know her as Bunty.
right. I'm talking to Anne next week,
Yeah.
so I'll mention that. What about her granddad? Was her granddad at the farm?
I couldn't remember Grandad. He might have helped out when I used to, because I'm a 9-year-old, I used to go. But I used to see Grandma because she used to make a cup of tea for me with ticket papers.
So if you were 9, when was that then? What year was that?
Well, I was born in 1941. I was 1950.
Ah, right, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. And when he was milling there, did he mill every day, or
Well,
how
I
did he
didn't
do
go
it?
every day, but when I went, the bits, as I say, when they'd done everything, we used to take the chaff and what that were left, dropped in bags. We used to take it up to the farm for pigs and
Yeah.
what, and waste that went we took back up to the farm for cattle and pigs. Well, we got job of that. I used to put it into horse and cart with Geoffrey, and we used to take it up to the farm. But there was always a bag of flour to take up for Myrtle.
And when you say chaff, do you mean just general rubbish from
Rubbish,
the corn?
rubbish from corn when
Yeah.
it had broke. Yeah.
Yeah. And did he clean it in those wire machines then? Was he still cleaning it in those circular
They were cleaning it,
machines
yeah.
upstairs in those wire machines?
Yeah.
Right.
When
How
I
did
first, I was trying to think when I can't remember the date it were when it stopped working.
Well, we think about 1952.
could be 52, 53. I know I were about 11 or 12 year old when it stopped.
You don't remember the shaft braking that drives all the gears?
No, I can't remember shaft brake. I know it had stopped when I used to go, because as I say, I was delivering papers right up to leaving school.
And what about the grain? How did the grain get to the mill?
Well, the grain and what, they used to thrash it up at farm.
So it was mainly milling his own.
Well, they used to thrash
Farmers would bring it, you know.
Farmers
They
used to
wanted
bring
do
it down.
for the cattle they'd got. Yes. There's a book about issues that you've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, I went to the library a while ago, Chesterfield, and I seen this book, Myrtle, the carpet's on fire. And I just took no notice and I'm walking away, and then it dawned on me, I thought, that's Jack Hitch. And I went back and fetched it. And it was a lovely book. It was all about Jack Hitch, you know, and his family, how they lived and where they went. And they went to chapel, which is on Tipshelf Road, which is derelict now, has been for many years. And I never thought anybody used that. But I think before it was chapel, it was school. And the locals, you know, used to go there for school. But I took that down to a neighbour of mine, as her dad used to sit at side of me in school. And she was a Binch, which lived dead opposite Jack.
Frankie Binch's sister, you were on about that? Yeah.
Danky.
Oh, yeah.
Little Danky, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm John Whiteley Sanderson.
Yeah.
And as I say, I spent a lot of time at the farm, more time at the farm than I did at the mill, because I used to help Jack.
There's quite a few work there.
And then every Saturday and Sunday morning, I used to go and get the cattle into the milk shed before Jack used to come out. That was my job, Saturday and Sunday morning. And I worked at the pit at the time and went helping. And I was, same as he says, he went come to the outside, but I was one of them that used to go through the gate with scythe and cut it, ready for Jack going through, ready for cutting corn, and it was sheaved up, and I was one that used to start sheaved.
Opening out, they called it, didn't they?
yeah.
Opening out, just for the binder to get inside. That's what it was for.
It's a lot of lovely hours there.
Yes.
Were they just milling animal feed? Or what, did they mill flour at all?
There were only odd occasions as they were flat, you know. No, it were mainly for animal feed and what.
Animal stuff, but
Yeah.
they did any time of year, you see, when the farmers had got corn stuck about, they'd bag it up, send it down there, save them buying it, and then they used to take it back again.
Right.
Do you remember him using the stones that we call the hulling stones? They used to rub the husks off of oats. Didn't actually mill it.
Well,
It's at the top of the steps
They
as you
were
go
at
in.
the top, yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember being there, but I've never seen them in
Never
use.
seen him working, right.
Not when I were. I mean, he would have, because he's 12 years older than me. He'd haven't seen milling stones.
What's that?
Them milling stones where they used to get.
I've seen no more.
What, the ones right at the top of the stairs as they are now? That used to rub the husks off the oats? Did they use?
Yes,
You remember
yes.
that?
Well,
Those,
they the us that I'm on about. They used to go up for.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were the
Corn
us that
dressing.
used to go up for,
Yeah.
to be fed to pigs.
Right.
Dressing stones, it was skilled job, that was.
And what about the other two stones? Which ones did they use at the back? Was it both of them, or the one on the left
I
or
can't
the
remember
right?
because
Can't
as I say,
remember those.
stones weren't. You know, they weren't in use. They weren't much in use when I used to go because, as I say, it was just before, about 3 years before it actually
But
finished.
what about when you were there? Can you remember
that?
which set of stones he was using for grinding flour on, or animal
That was
feed?
just in here, really.
What's that?
It's not, there's only a little bit about Stainsby Mill. you
Oh,
see.
no, that's Anne's book, is it? That's yeah, yes. I've
Oh,
had a
it's got the photo one, haven't you?
yeah.
You see that?
But do you remember any of the stones?
Yes,
You remember the stones working? You remember them turning?
No, I didn't. We weren't, he didn't like anybody going too near the stuff, you know, at our age.
Right.
I see, he wasn't, there wasn't such a thing as, you know,
Well, we were
paying big
volunteers.
insurance and that, all like that. But we just didn't, it was quite happy for us to be doing what we were doing. We're out of machinery, you know. It didn't They weren't pleased about us being among it.
So if you were going there at the weekend then, was he not milling at the weekend?
No. Well, when I used to go at weekend, it were after 52 when, the last officer used to go up
right,
and farm
with
and
you,
what. But the mill, as I say, when I first used to go to the mill at 9, didn't used to go right. We weren't allowed up to where milling stones were, because same as I say, I used to be down at bottom for taking stuff up to farm after it had gone through. And what.
How did they
You
get?
did anything, like cutting about to do, through a bag knocking about, just get out at roads, and things like that. It was all straight. It helped Jack a lot because he'd not got the bags to move when he come down, but he got to take them out of mill. He got to be dry outside, and put them in. I didn't know they were horse stables, I didn't. Somebody told me about that. That's where we put them.
Yeah. It was just an empty room, was it? Just like there was no stores in it for the horses.
Well, they'd only got one horse.
Did they keep it there?
I never seen a horse
Kept
in
it
there.
down there, yeah.
Never seen one in there, I didn't. No.
But when you were storing the grain in there, was there like the stalls where they would keep the horses?
No, it were only lented against the wall.
It was
back
all
there,
big
'cause
open.
They were fetching it. They'd fetch it. By the time midday we're out, somebody would fetch it. Whichever farmer had ordered it, like Jack had let them know, and they'd fetch it, That's how it went.
How did they get the grain into the mill? How did they get the grain into the mill?
I'm not very good on these.
But did he use the lift or did he take it in on that side door?
They used to be took on from off at side door on top.
Right.
In. But as I say, farmers used to take it in more or less as they brought it.
What did they do then? Just lean out the door and take it from the cart?
No, they carry it to what's name and take it through. They pass it through. What there'd be one as they used to pass it through to, and they'd put it down. I mean, we never went up there. I went allowed up there because I was too young.
That's right.
These were lucky ones.
I didn't go up there with you.
No.
So